Okay, Jimmie Johnson has joined us. He's our 5-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion. He drives the number 48 Milos Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports this weekend, 8th in points. Got 2 wins here, though, and won the race here in Talladega back in the spring. So, Jimmie, talk about second half of the chase, coming to Talladega. You won here in the spring. Talk about your mindset now as we get ready to go racing here on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, we got to get out and practice today and get some experience with the new PRV valve and the bigger plate. So excited for that. I think it's going to be challenging for the drivers to stay connected. So we'll have to get out there and see what happens. These cooler temperatures might be today. You know, if it stays cool today and gets warm on Sunday, it might lull us into thinking we can push. But we'll just have to see. So there's some things to be on top of this weekend for the teams and drivers, and I'm excited to get into practice and learn what that's what that is and how where that threshold is for popping off the valve. But we need points based on the way we finished up in Charlotte. We overcame a lot through the night in Charlotte with track position issues, and was getting into a respectable finish there, and had that huge impact off of turn 2. So it was a sore week trying to get through the bumps and bruises beginning of the week, and things feel great now, and we just got to go racing. I mean, there's still 5 races left in this chase. A lot still can happen, and I know what my team and myself is capable of, and we're going to go out there and work for every point we can get.
Okay, thank you, Jimmie. We'll take questions now. We'll go with Don, Ed, and then Jenna. Go ahead, Don. Appreciate it.
Jimmie, 2 quick questions. Number 1, is this the one race where you have absolutely no idea how this is going to end, or do you have any clue what Sunday is going to be like?
I have an idea, but it's tough to tell on any plate track what's going to happen. We always seem to have a big one at some point, but the changes that have been made, it will alter the race that takes place. I just don't know how much, and I'll know a lot more after practice, and have some good opinions then.
And number 2.
Yeah, it's on.
Number 2, last week I asked you about being superstitious and the SI jinx. Would you like to revisit that that phenomenon? How when you appear on that cover, because what happened to you was clearly unusual for you.
Well, I mean, in racing, I mean, it's easy in anything. It's easy to say, well, it was bad luck. But like I said before that race, and I say after, because I was on the cover of that magazine, didn't change. It didn't make me crash. I mean, I was in a situation racing hard for position and had one car close behind me and one tight on my outside, and turned the car around. So the magazine didn't create the aerodynamic situation that took place and why I crashed. We can joke about it and laugh and say, sure, the jinx continues, or I guess I didn't really know there was a jinx prior to everybody pointing it out to me. And I don't believe that's the case. I mean, racing took place. I was in the car, so ultimately I'm responsible for what took place on Saturday night, not a magazine cover. It's fun to laugh about it, I guess. Everybody chuckled when you asked.
Let's go Ed, and then over to Jenna. Go ahead, Ed.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Jimmie, you said a while ago about this race, you said we need points. That might be kind of the understatement of your time in the chase. I'm trying to think, even the first chase, which you didn't win, you came in really breathing down Kurt's neck and all. Might this be the toughest position you've found yourself in since there's been a chase?
I don't know. I saw a stat somewhere where we left here 156 back in 06 and won the championship. The schedule's changed a little, so I don't know if Talladega was a lot earlier and how that all plays out. But I kind of look at it like I do in 2006. We had 2 bad races and was able to rebound. We've had 2 bad races, and I hope to rebound. So it seems familiar to me, but over the years, I've forgotten a lot of stuff along the way too.
One other thing, most years guys hate to come here because it's such a crapshoot right in the middle of the chase. Considering your circumstances, are you sort of glad to come here, all things considered, this time?
When you're coming to Talladega and you have to protect something, It's tough, and even when you get to the end of the year and you go into Homestead, protecting a championship, regardless of the racetrack, it just adds a lot of stress. And with the unknowns we have here, protecting makes for a long weekend and a long race when you're in the car. I don't want to enter this race, hoping for anything, from a big crash standpoint to happen and 29, 99. The guys all ahead of me have, be caught up in that. I just need to go out and race. The stuff does happen on the track, but if we go out and run well and get 5 points on some guys, it's a step in the right direction. So I don't have anything to protect, so Talladega isn't as dangerous for me this year or as scary as it's been in years past.
Let's go with Jenna, Monty, and then Bob. Go ahead, Jenna.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Jimmie, I saw that you're donating, I think, the helmet you're wearing this weekend to the Weldon Memorial. I don't think you've ever given away a helmet. How is it that you came to that decision, and just your thoughts on sort of the outpouring of people in the motorsports community trying to get involved in this auction?
Yeah, for sure. So I noticed on Twitter that Graham Rahal was spearheading really the majority of the goods for the auction, and I saw something on there where his father was giving up a race-worn helmet, and if I remember reading it right, it was like one of a kind. And in my helmets, I don't do anything with them. I keep them myself. I do trade out with some other drivers from time to time, but helmets are so sought after and can raise the most money that when I saw that Bobby Rahal was giving up a helmet, it just triggered something in me, and I'll wear the helmet this weekend, and I have a sticker to go on my visor with the Lionheart thing and a Dan Weldon on it and stuff. So I'm excited to wear the helmet. Hopefully they can go to victory lane and be worth every cent possible before it goes up on the auction.
Are you impressed by the way people just jumped on this and they're overrun with items?
Yeah, extremely impressed with the outpouring, and just again following Graham's tweets. Kelly Slater is involved, so it is certainly a very big focus within our sport. Within sports, there's been some great sport too, but it's gone off into a different world of surfing even. So just really proud of everybody doing their part and trying to help provide for the family and keeping the family in their thoughts and prayers.
Let's go Monty, Bob, and then David Caravello.
Monty Gaston is it. Jimmie, when I was driving down here yesterday, I had a long phone conversation with a person who's not a writer but is a fan. And it was over the subject that has gotten a good bit of attention this week, over your having a really hard crash and some people cheering. Now, we talked about the fact that on the one hand, racing is a dangerous sport, and it's a bit poor taste to cheer someone when he has a wreck. On the other hand, we talked about the fact that in a college football game, if they have to peel the quarterback off the AstroTurf, the other team doesn't want the quarterback to be hurt, but they were really giddy when it happened.
Sure.
So neither of us was the guy who about knocked the wall down. So how does he feel?
Luckily, I guess I can't hear what's going on in the grandstands when you're in the car. I wasn't aware of the cheering and saw some traffic on my Twitter site following that, and I can remember noise when really anybody crashes and cheers, at times. So I don't know exactly, I guess, what I'm getting at to the degree of what that is, but inside the car, at that rate of speed hitting the wall, it's not a situation you want to be in. And I guess being that quarterback laying on the AstroTurf trying to catch your breath is a lot like being that driver in the car trying to catch his breath. It wasn't fun.
Let's go Bob, David, and then Marty. Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Hocker, Scene Daily. There's been some talk among, I guess I'd say, fans that trying to pass Ryan Newman with 10 laps left when with such little time left in the race might not have been the right move. Do you feel like you made any sort of mistake, or should have just settled for where you were running at that point in the race?
Yeah, settling with where you're running in the race to preserve points is just not something I've ever done. I needed every point I could get. The 99 was up there running well. The 29 just passed the 39. And I had made passes inside of cars all night long in 1 and 2 and didn't have any issues. So, yes, you can look back now and say, sure, 8th or wherever I was running is a heck of a lot better than 34th. But, we've got to race and we got to go get every point that we can. And I was faster than the 39. I watched the 29, took a couple laps to work his way by, and I felt like I was in a position to do the same thing. And the 4 car knew that I was in an overtaking position, and I felt like was going to have his drafting help on the straights, which I did coming down the front straight into that corner. So I really felt like things were going in the right direction for me to roll around the bottom and pass the 39, and clearly that didn't happen. So, you can always armchair quarterback it after, but at the time, I didn't drive in over my head. If you watch the video, I lifted a little earlier because I felt like Ryan was going to be out there and be tight to me, and it just got out from under me, just a racing thing. So that's I wish it didn't happen, but I can't look back at that and say I should have just been content with 8th.
Got 2 more questions on our schedule here. We got David and then Marty.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. Jimmie, everybody remembers your epic run out of here in 06, 5 straight top 2 finishes to win that title. Is it going to take something like that for you to win it this year? And is a run like that even possible given how competitive it is this year?
It is possible, and I'm expecting that we need to do that as a race team. Fortune can come and go for any of the drivers at any of the tracks. There's a lot of focus on this weekend's race, but Martinsville has its things. Then we go to Phoenix at some point, and we're all not sure what to expect in Phoenix. So things will develop over the next 5 races, but myself and this team are looking at it that we need to be on fire these next 5 to give ourselves a chance to win this thing.
Final question, Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Jimmie, how does